Welcome back to the Aussies Abroad program here on FNR Football Nation Radio. Great interview before the break with Richie Cardozo. He's had a very interesting career, no doubt about it. And the next man we're going to talk to has also had a very interesting career. He's played with Kavala FC in Greece, Paya 2014 FC in Cyprus, Logan United, Gold Coast United in the old A-League, and now Sunshine Coast Fire in the Queensland NPL. I'm talking about Blake Kallis. Blake, welcome to the program.
Hey Chris, thanks for having me.
Mate, you've represented Australia in youth teams, you've played overseas in Greece and Cyprus, you've played at home in the A-League with Gold Coast United. I know your career's not over just yet, but as you look back on your achievements, does it fill you with a sense of pride?
Oh, of course. I think anything you achieve in football, you have some pride, and I'm continuing it and seeing where it's going to take me for the rest of my career.
Now, we've had plenty of players on this show who talk about their time in Greece as quite turbulent, I guess, with coaches sacked and wages unpaid and moving from club to club year after year. Can you give us a bit of an insight into what your experience was like with Kavala FC in Greece?
Yeah, so I headed over to Kavala as a 19-year-old. It was my first trip outside of Australia. Landed in the club that had just been promoted to the first division.
Yep.
And that's where, I guess, everything began, and I found out a lot about Greek football. It really is how, you've heard of the corruption and scandals and things like that. It really is like that. And it really comes down to the president at the time who owns the club. Everything's in his hands. If you get paid on time, if you're looked after well. So yeah, it really just comes down to that.
And what about you? Were you looked after well? Were you paid on time? Were you involved in any unscrupulous behaviour from the president?
I was quite lucky in Kavala. They gave me a nice accommodation, and the people who ran the hotel where I lived looked after me really well. So, I did hear stories from other players that, hadn't been paid for 3 months at a time, and their accommodation wasn't quite as nice as mine, but hey, I was lucky, and yeah, each to their own, I guess.
Did you have any of those players come and sleep on your couch?
I did have a few ask me to. I did feel sorry for them when I saw where they were living.
Yeah. But
But yeah, in my end, I was happy.
You're okay. Now, you've also played in Cyprus with Paya 2014 FC. Now, when I think of playing football on an island in the middle of the Mediterranean, I'm thinking sun, sand, beach, a pretty easygoing, relaxed lifestyle. Is that the kind of life you led there as a professional footballer?
Yeah, it really was, to be honest. Outside of being on the park, it's a great life. The winters there aren't really winter. So, in the middle of winter, you could be down, out and about, and you're not wearing 10 jackets as you are in most other parts of Europe.
Yeah.
In saying that, on the pitch, they're very passionate. They definitely don't like to lose. We've had rocks thrown at us from away supporters.
Wow.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a club like Paya, because they were once cup winners of Cyprus. So they are definitely a big club in the third division with high hopes of heading back to where they once were.
What about those fans? I mean, what was your relationship like with the fans in Cyprus, given their passion and their support of their teams and the throwing of rocks at opposition teams?
Well, the rocks bit was kind of new to me.
That doesn't happen on the sunny coast?
No, definitely not. When it came to our home supporters, though, they were great. I could probably call myself a fan favourite because the area of Paya is very populated by English.
Yep.
So obviously being an Aussie, they love to have a chat to me in English.
Yep.
So that was, I was lucky in that sense. When it came to away games and they found out that I was from Australia, they gave me quite a hard time, obviously calling me a kangaroo and whatnot.
That's not so bad.
Yeah, well, that's the G-rated version.
Right, I see. Now, Blake, your nickname's Hulk. If anyone has seen images of you, you're certainly a big boy, muscular. Like to hit the gym, no doubt. Have you ever felt like your size is either a positive or a negative to your game?
I definitely use it as a positive. Most clubs these days play with a number 9.
Yep.
And that's exactly what I have built my physique around. At the moment I'm sitting at 91 kilos at 4.8 body fat percentage.
Yeah.
My explosive speed's fantastic, and holding the ball up front, like there's no defender that's going to push me off the ball or anything like that. So when I was in Cyprus, the president of the team at the time pretty much looked at me and saw me on the pitch, and that was it. I signed the contract. End of that session. It was exactly what he was looking for, and I think what Australian football has missed since Mark Viduka.
Yeah.
So I've definitely used that to my advantage.
Have you ever had a coach ask you to trim down?
No, not recently. Like I said, most clubs are looking for a number 9.
Yep. Big, strong, hold the ball up tight.
Yeah, that's right. And my fitness is great. My speed is great. So I haven't had any issues with coaches asking me to do that.
Now, you're back at the Sunshine Coast Fire this year in the Queensland NPL competition. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're back for your second stint at the club. What is it about the club that you like so much and the area that you love so much?
Well, look, Sunny Coast is it's a great town. I originally actually signed for the club before heading to Cyprus. And as soon as I did get that opportunity in Cyprus, I left, and I've returned back to Australia now, and it was my decision to release myself from my contract in Paya. And with the NPL season that's just started, I decided to return to Sunny Coast because I felt that I had some unfinished business, and we had the same technical director as when I originally signed, so he was happy to get me back on the coast.
How do you think you'll go this year as a team and you personally? I know that last time you signed for the Sunshine Coast, you made some big claims about being the league's leading goal scorer before a ball had even been kicked. Have you got the same goals and aspirations this time around?
I sure do. I've only just received my international transfer certificate from Cyprus, but I can tell you in pre-season, my first game for the club, I scored from 35 yards. So, yeah, I can definitely say that I have the same aspirations this season.
Nice. Now, do you have any ambitions for going overseas again?
Yeah, most definitely. I've got a Greek passport, so come summertime in Europe, if nothing comes any higher from the season in the NPL, I'll definitely be looking again to head back over to Europe.
Anywhere in particular? Have you got the feelers out there already? Have you got some interest?
I have had some interest. It was from Asia when I originally came back home. I speak to a lot of Greek clubs all the time, and having a Greek passport, I'm pretty much seen as a local player. So there's a lot of opportunity for me to head back to Greece.
Now, outside of football, from my research into you, it looks like you've got a number of other interests in life. You've got your bodybuilding, you've done a bit of modelling, you've also got your own clothing label. Do you love and need a lot of variety in your life?
I guess you can say I like to keep busy. Well, playing professional football, you do a couple hours of training a day, and
got some downtime.
I like to stay and look fit, so
yep.
I'm in the gym a couple hours, and other than that, I'm really passionate about clothing and fashion. So I am the founder of a gym wear company called Adonis Gear. So, you know, I spend my free time doing that.
Now, I also when I was scrolling through your Instagram feed, saw that a lot of your posts were quite philosophical. I guess a lot of quotes from you that are philosophical in nature. Are you a spiritual kind of person? Do you get deep inside of who you are?
Yes and no. Jesus, that's a hard question.
It's philosophical. But I am. I like it. I'm a philosophical kind of person, so I liked scrolling through your feed and seeing those kind of quotes, and it just got me thinking whether that was whether you're a deep philosophical, deep thinking kind of a person.
I guess I am.
Yep.
I probably overthink things, but life throws you a lot of ups and downs, and that relates to being on and off the football pitch. So, yeah, I guess you could say I am. Always look for the positives in life, and yeah, hopefully it spreads to others.
Hey, mate, last one before I let you go. Once you've gone back to Greece and you've played for 8 different clubs in 8 seasons, because that's kind of the way it works over there, what happens with life after football for you? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do?
Well, I guess that's where my clothing company takes charge.
Yep.
At the moment, I'm really just doing a design aspect, so I can be overseas and travel and concentrate on football. And when that time does come that I've retired, I'll be definitely spending all my time in the clothing company.
Well, Blake, thank you very much for joining me on the Aussies Abroad program here on Football Nation Radio. Fascinating career you've had so far, both overseas and here in Australia, plus fascinating individual just with your outside interests. Really thankful that you've given us your time here on the show, and we'll follow your career with interest.
Great, thanks heaps for having me.
Blake Kallis there, former Kavala FC player, 2014 FC Logan United, Gold Coast United and current Sunshine Coast Fire striker. We're going to take a break here on the Aussies Abroad program. Coming up, we're going to wrap up the program.